ਸਿਟੀ ਆਫ ਬ੍ਰੈਂਪਟਨ ਦੇ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਅੱਜ ਆਪਣਾ 2026 ਦਾ ਸਾਲਾਨਾ ਬਜਟ ਪੇਸ਼ ਕੀਤਾ ਗਿਆ, ਜਿਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੇਅਰ ਬਰਾਊਨ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਜਾਣਦੇ ਹਨ ਕਿ ਇਸ ਵਕਤ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਰੈਜ਼ੀਡੈਂਟਸ ਸਿਟੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਈ ਮੁਸ਼ਕਲਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੂਝ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ, ਜਿਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਫੋਰਡੇਬਿਲਿਟੀ ਅਤੇ ਇਨਫਲੇਸ਼ਨ ਵਰਗੇ ਮੁੱਦੇ ਪ੍ਰਮੁੱਖ ਹਨ ਅਤੇ ਇਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਧਿਆਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਹੋਏ ਸਿਟੀ ਦੇ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਆਪਣਾ ਬਜਟ ਪੇਸ਼ ਕੀਤਾ ਗਿਆ, ਜਿਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿਹਾ ਗਿਆ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਸਿਟੀਜ਼ ਪ੍ਰੋਪਰਟੀ ਟੈਕਸ ਲੈਵੀ ਜੋ ਹੈ ਉਹ 1.5% ਤੱਕ ਵਧਾਈ ਗਈ ਹੈ, ਜੋ ਕਿ GTA ਦੇ ਬਾਕੀ ਸ਼ਹਿਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਮੁਕਾਬਲੇ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਘੱਟ ਵਾਧਾ ਹੈ। ਇਸ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੇਅਰ ਬਰਾਊਨ ਦੇ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਟੀਮ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਵਧੇਰੇ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਸਾਂਝੀ ਕੀਤੀ ਗਈ।
Well, welcome to our 2026 city budget presentation. This budget is guided by very clear and consistent focus, delivering on priorities and achieving results for residents. And we are doing that with affordability in mind. We know a lot of residents are struggling. Inflation has put a pressure on many families that is very real. Across Ontario, municipalities are also facing pressures. You know, with 3 levels of government, you always see issues that are downloaded to cities to confront and to deal with. We have collective agreements that range from 3 to 5%. And so usually when you have a city budget, we start at about 5%. We also have a healthcare levy to build our second hospital. But we really focused on bringing that down to make sure that we could have the lowest possible tax increase, knowing the affordability challenges that our residents face. And I'm pleased to report for 2026, we were able to keep Brampton's operational budget increase to just 0.8%, under a single percentage point for our operational budget. Overall, the proposed city portion of the property tax is 1.5%. That is one of the lowest in the GTA. And this has been a focus for the last 7 years. When I started as mayor, we had among the highest tax rates in the GTA, and I said we would work with determination to make sure we were competitive on taxes. I realized that this is a significant strain on families. And if you look at the chart, Brampton used to have among the highest taxes, and now if you look at the list of the net levy per capita, Brampton now has among the lowest taxes in the GTA. This will continue to be a guiding principle for our city to make sure affordability is really considered at every decision point. This is a shift, and it's a determined shift thanks to council, thanks to our city staff that really recognize this as an imperative. Despite our focus on affordability, I'm pleased to report that Brampton's finances remain in very sound condition. We are proud to maintain our AAA credit rating, a clear signal of confidence in how we manage public dollars. Once again, a AAA credit rating. At the same time, we've secured a record $163 million contribution to our city reserves. We have never put as much into our reserves as we are this year, setting a new record once again. That's about protecting taxpayers today while preparing responsibly to the infrastructure needs of the city in the years to come. This is the kind of fiscal stewardship residents expect and deserve. Public safety also remains a top priority. At a regional level, we've continued to invest in the Peel Police to make sure they have the muscular response they need to deal with the challenges of organized crime in Canada's large cities. On a local level, we have given additional resources to bylaw and fire prevention to make sure that those that ignore local laws are going to continue to face a strong crackdown. Last year, we had the largest expansion of bylaw, and this year we're continuing that investment with 22 new bylaw officers. The principle is simple. Responsible residents are protected and bad actors will pay. We are sending a clear message. Brampton will not tolerate behavior that put lives and neighborhoods at risk, and we will make sure the good residents don't pay for that. It's the bad residents that will pay for the cost of our bylaw program. Even in a challenging fiscal environment, we continue to invest in what residents care most about. Recreation, parks, community infrastructure will continue to remain a top priority. I always say that recreation is preventative healthcare 101. If you build community recreation, if you create an environment for active, healthy lifestyles, that is one of the best ways to ensure a healthy community. And if you look at this year's expansions and revitalizations, of course, we are building the largest new recreation center in Brampton with the Embleton Recreation Center, where we just recently had a groundbreaking. Councillor Power is grinning ear to ear because we have committed in this budget for our Howden a recreation center that he has been a fierce advocate for. And of course, we have new ice rinks coming in. We're continuing to build the first indoor cricket dome. And then, of course, the exciting Brampton-Orangeville Recreation Trail is well underway. We're going to continue to invest in recreation across the city. These investments support healthy lifestyles. Brampton's proposed 2026 budget reflects what we've heard directly from residents and businesses, not just over the last year, but throughout this term of council and the conversations we have in our community. To the seniors on fixed incomes who struggle with affordability, we hear you. That is why this budget is so focused on affordability. To single parents, to those living on fixed incomes, we hear you. This is a budget that we're proud of because it really puts affordability first. Having said that, over the next month, we're going to listen relentlessly. And I once had an elder in the community tell me that God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth, listen more than you talk. And so for the next month, we're going to have coffee chats to listen to the community. We're going to have a town hall, really to give an opportunity for every resident to have their say before this budget is ratified. Having said that, my challenge to the community is this. If you have an area that you want new spending, please come up with a suggestion of what the corresponding savings will be. Everyone has an idea of where we could spend more, but it's unusual when you get suggestions of where you could find savings. And so I ask every resident that comes to a town hall, please bring both. That way we can make sure that affordability continues to underpin the 2026 budget. But once again, pleased to have a budget that reflects one of the lowest tax increases in the GTA and continues to position Brampton in a very strong place for affordability.
As the Vice Chair of the Budget Committee, I want to emphasize that public consultation, feedback, and engagement from Brampton taxpayers is essential to building a fiscally responsible budget that meets the needs of the community. With the release of the city's proposed budget, we have a range of opportunities to hear directly from the community. We will begin with sector-specific virtual roundtables, where we will be hearing from the Brampton arts and culture community, the business community, and our downtown Brampton BIA. Starting on January 18th, we will be hosting our very popular coffee chats across all of the city in all of the ward pairings. These are informal, in-person drop-in sessions with the mayor and councillors and with our finance staff to hear your ideas and to answer your questions. In addition, the mayor and the city will host a telephone town hall on Tuesday, January 20th, beginning at 7 p.m., giving residents the opportunity to ask questions, share feedback, and participate in live polling. And finally, starting on the week of Monday, January 19th, Brampton City Council will be hosting a special budget meeting, a series of special budget meetings, which will include opportunities for delegations from members of the public. The budget is tentatively scheduled for adoption on Tuesday, January 27th. We invite you to join us in person for these special meetings at City Hall, or you can watch online with opportunities for public delegations. Folks, this is your budget, and I strongly encourage residents from all across the city and the businesses to get involved and attend one or as many sessions that are available. Now, for full details and all engagement opportunities and how to participate, visit our website at www.brampton.ca/budget. And on behalf of Brampton City Council, we thank the Brampton residents and businesses for your participation, your feedback, and your continued partnership as we work together on the 2026 budget. Thank you very much, and I'll bring it back to the Mayor.
Taranjeet from REDFM. In the previous budget, City of Brampton already spent billions of dollars in the Brampton Transit. However, the latest data is showing the declining number of riderships. So how city is managing this situation, and how city is coping with the situation?
Yeah, great question. This is one of the unique challenges as we prepared for the budget. Year after year, Brampton Transit has had record growth. For the first time, we've seen a steep decline. Largely due to federal immigration changes. We've seen a dramatic decline in the number of international students because of that reconciliation federally to make sure that we didn't have fly-by-night colleges abusing international students, and that we really were able to match student housing with the visas that were being awarded. That has seen a dramatic decline in the ridership in some routes where students heavily use those routes. So we're going to reconcile those routes. Obviously, we're not going to run at the same capacity for routes that simply don't have the same volumes anymore.
Who will have to bear this loss, the riders or the city taxpayers?
Well, obviously, city taxpayers. If there's a fare that was being paid, we had a decline last year, so the expected fares that were usually coming in, based on historical forecasts, didn't come in, and so we've had to bear that as taxpayers. It's been a pressure on our budget. I would note, though, we can't continue to run routes on the same volumes that existed before, where the number of riders isn't there. We have to align transit resources where the ridership numbers are.
So have you talked with your provincial and the federal partners?
Yes and no. I would say we have made our transit realities clear to our partners at other levels of government, but at the same time, we advocated for the changes in the student visa program. We thought that it was out of control. It was the Wild West. Brampton at one point had over 80 colleges. Many of them were not real. And so our council passed a motion when Mark Miller was the immigration minister, asking for international visas to be given when there was a corresponding academic institution that was real and legitimate, and there was a housing plan. And so we can't complain about the changes when these are changes we advocated for. And so I think it's on us to make sure we realign transit with what the current needs are. The fact there's been a decline is a consequence of the changes that we advocated for. Well, pleased to announce we have one of the lowest tax increases in the GTA, 1.5%. Very lean budget, putting affordability first for residents. When I started as mayor, we had among the highest taxes in the GTA. If you look at the chart now, we have among the lowest taxes in the GTA. Affordability matters, and we're going to continue to deliver on priorities and respect taxpayers.
So what taxpayers can expect from Brampton City Council this year?
Well, this year we're going to continue our focus, advancing the big projects, whether it's the tunneled LRT, the second hospital, continuing to invest in recreation, and making sure public safety is a paramount priority. And so we're going to continue to work hard for residents.
1.5% increase to the 2026 budget for the city of Brampton. We recognize in the city of Brampton, we have always recognized since we were first elected, that affordability is a key issue for the people in the city of Brampton. But this year, no less than the other years that we have prepared budgets. So we've worked extra hard, gone through 14,000 line items, close analysis to ensure that we're delivering value for the taxpayer, elimination of items that are no longer necessary, investment in those areas that require additional investment, and all of that work whittling down to a 1.5% increase on the city's budget, which is the lowest increase for all the municipalities across the GTHA. This is a testament to the work of the Mayor of the City of Brampton, Council, working very closely together with feedback from the residents to produce a budget that we can all live with, that we can all afford. And so I want to thank everyone who's been involved, but we still want to let everyone know that we will be having a lot of engagement opportunities over the next month. Budget coffee chats held across the city. We'll be holding roundtables with key stakeholder communities here in the city, and we will be having special council meetings where everyone is invited to come, participate, delegate if you would like. Tell us what you think about the budget, give us your ideas, help us produce a budget that we can all live with. Every member of council has a responsibility to themselves and to the community to function in a way that is befitting of the office. And I'll be very honest with you when I say that members of council work tirelessly every single day to do what I call good things for the city of Brampton. And, the media has a role to report on things that they see, things that they find. However, I can tell you that every morning when members of council wake up and get out of bed, it is with the attitude of, what can I do today to make the people of Brampton live in a better city. And so it's a little bit disheartening when you see reports in media that somehow find some fault with the work that members of council do. I am personally very supportive of any initiative that members of council have brought forward. I myself have worked tirelessly, for example, to bring forward a hospice to the city of Brampton. Deputy Mayor Singh has worked tirelessly to bring long-term care to the people of Brampton. And so all of us work in the ways in which we can to make Brampton a better city, and that should be commended, not maligned.
Yeah, so listen, I know Saria, people have a lot of pressures this year. Economy, the how we all know, jida karan de vich pressure, the shara de vich we are. We've tried to prioritize less property tax increase. Karke udda investments jire ਉਹ ਵੀ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਪਰ ਆਪਾਂ ਇਸ ਸਾਲ ਜਿਹੜੇ priority investments ਆਪਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਤੇ focus ਕੀਤਾ ਆ ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ we've been able to come pretty low ਪਰ ਮੈਂ ਇਹ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਕਰੂੰਗਾ ਹੁਣ ਮੌਕਾ ਮਿਲੂਗਾ next few weeks ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੀ public consultation ਉਹ ਹੁਣ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੋ ਜਾਣੀ ਆ ਡਰਾਫਟ ਬਜਟ ਰਿਲੀਜ਼ ਹੈ ਜੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਇਨਪੁਟ ਦੇਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਪਲੀਜ਼ ਮੁਰੇ ਆ ਕੇ ਦਿਓ ਆਪਣੀ ਇਨਪੁਟ ਕਰਕੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਫਾਈਨਲ ਬਜਟ ਆ ਉਹ ਇਨਪੁਟ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਪਾਸ ਹੋਗਾ ਸੋ ਹੁਣ ਵੀ ਕਾਫੀ opportunities ਹੋਣੇ ਆ ਸਾਡੇ residents ਵਾਸਤੇ to raise their voice as well. Yeah, these are some of the challenges. Listen, ਆਪਾਂ ਕਾਫੀ ਵੱਡੀ ਮੰਗ ਸੀਗੀ ਸਾਡੇ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਦੇ ਕਿ ਇਮੀਗ੍ਰੇਸ਼ਨ ਤੇ ਕੁਝ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾਵੇ ਰਾਈਟ ਹੁਣ ਇਮੀਗ੍ਰੇਸ਼ਨ ਕੱਟਸ ਆ ਉਹ ਇੰਪਲੀਮੈਂਟ ਹੋ ਰਹੇ ਆ naturally impact ਹੋਣਾ ਆ ਸੋ ਟ੍ਰਾਂਜ਼ਿਟ ਤੇ ਫਰਸਟ impact ਹੋਇਆ ਰਾਈਟ ਜਿਹੜੇ immigration cuts ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ so everything's connected okay ਬੜੀ ਆਪਾਂ we don't realize how everything's connected federal to provincial to city ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ connected ਆ so ਸਾਨੂੰ ਹੁਣ ਉਹਦੇ ਤੇ ਵੀ adjust ਕਰਨਾ ਪੈ ਰਿਹਾ our routes our resources for transit ਹਨਾ affordability ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰੀਏ we know right now ਕਾਫੀ stressful time for residents ਕਾਫੀ industries like trucking real estate ਕਾਫੀ underperform ਕਰ ਰਹੀਆਂ so for that reason ਆਪਾਂ ਜਿਹੜਾ property tax ਆਪਾਂ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕੀਤਾ ਘੱਟ ਤੋਂ ਘੱਟ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਉਹਦੀ increase ਆਪਾਂ ਉਹ ਪੇਸ਼ ਕਰੀਏ and ਮੂਹਰੇ ਲਾ ਕੇ ਆਈਏ and prioritize ਕਰੀਏ residents and their affordability. Yeah, ਬਿਲਕੁਲ like ਇਸ ਦੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ scrutiny ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਇੱਕ ਤਾਂ public scrutiny ਸਾਡੇ integrity commission ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਆ so ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜੇ project ਦਾ ਮੇਅਰ ਨੇ ਵੀ ਜ਼ਿਕਰ ਕੀਤਾ ਹਰੇਕ counselor ਕੋਈ ਨਾ ਕੋਈ charity ਕੋਈ ਨਾ ਕੋਈ non-profit ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੁੜਿਆ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਆ and that's part of our role as well ਆਪਾਂ community ਨੂੰ support ਕਰੀਏ at the end of the day ਆਪਾਂ ਸਾਡੇ residents ਆਪਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਲਈ results deliver ਕਰਨੇ ਆ through non-profits through the city whatever it means so I have no issues I'm very proud of the work I've done and ਆਪਾਂ deliver ਕਰੂੰਗੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ projects ਆਪਾਂ commit ਕੀਤੇ ਆ
Bramptonians can expect an affordable tax increase from the city of Brampton at only 1.5% increase on the city's portion. We have over the past year been listening to residents, finding ways to squeeze that budget and make sure that we set the priorities straight at the city of Brampton. So 1.5% is among the lowest across the GTHA for the city of Brampton portion of the tax bill. So in fact, Peel Police is located, the budget for Peel Police is at the region of Peel. That budget was passed before the holidays. We are hiring 175 new police officers on top of the 300 that were hired in 2025. So a good portion of the budget at the region of Peel is driven by safety and making sure that we have more police officers to deal with the issues, safety issues in the region of Peel. On the city's portion, one of the things that residents have been telling us over the past year is ensuring that we deal with encampments. And we worked really hard in 2024, 2025 with the region of Peel to have an encampment and homelessness protocol and policy. So there are some investments as well at the local level at the city of Brampton to help deal with safety issues as it relates to encampments.